Lights out, time to run what you brung. They're away in a puff of smoke, and it looks like Elgerstrom has pulled off into the grass. Meanwhile, the game's not giving me anything good to look at. Here we go. Jerome Adamako out in front, and here comes Jensen Randall to try and get to the inside. And he's going to try and get power down, and he's going to get out in front of Adamako, but now they're side by side as they head down the hill into turn 2. Adamako is going to have the more preferred line. Randall around the outside, sliding that car, and now the inside is going to become the outside for Adamako, and they touch wheels. Jensen Randall out in front, and I don't know if that caused a puncture to Randall's car. They're still side by side as they head to the top of the hill. Adamako is going to cut back in line through turn 4. We've got a caution flag flying in sector 1. Looks like that might be Elgerstrom trying to get back up to speed. Jensen Randall out in front, and it looks like, Eric Elgerstrom has retired from the session. Issues. David Rod trying to find a way around Sandro around the outside of this corner here. They're heading up side by side to the chicane. There's a caution flag flying in sector 2. Looks like that was a quick on-off, and David Rod is going to get around Sandro Doulis heading into that chicane. Jensen Randall just ran the fastest lap of this race at a 1:26. So the lap times are falling. We've got a caution flag flying in sector 3. Looks like that might be one of the Williams. It was Noah Smith who's had an issue, and he's lost the right front end plate of his wing, so he's going to dive into the pits. Adamako is really trying to put the power down early in these corners, and he's all over the gearbox of Jensen Randall. Might be trying to force Randall into a mistake. They're side by side heading through here. Adamako trying to make a pass. This is going to be sketchy, trying to come through here. Dives to the inside. The inside becomes the outside. Adamako power down. He's going to try and make the pass here heading into this left-hander. But again, Jensen Randall's going to have the more preferred line. Big opposite lock there from Adamako. And this has allowed Andrea Latrella. He's only 1.1 back from this battle here. Adamako to the inside here. They come out side by side. It's a drag race down the front straightaway. Adamako's got the more preferred line. Jensen Randall trying to side draft, NASCAR style. Slow that car down, and Randall's going to try and go around the long way around. Adamako to the inside, cutting that wheel as hard as he can. They're still side by side as they come out of turn 1, down the hill into turn 2. Jensen Randall's got the more preferred line. Goes deep on the outside. Big slide there from Adamako. Jensen Randall now going to fall in behind him, do a crossover move here coming out of turn 3. And here comes Latrella. Latrella is now a part of this battle. A 3-car battle for the lead of this race. Can Latrella keep pace with these guys? Timing penalties are going to start coming in. Jerome Adamako just dived into the pits, working lap 11 of 35. That's going to hand the lead over to Jensen Randall, and second place over to Andrea Latrella. Adamako up into second. He is closing the gap down to Jensen Randall. Jensen Randall has yet to pit. I don't know how he's keeping these intermediate tires alive. We're now halfway through this race, and he is yet to pit. He's going to run them long, try and do a one-stop. I imagine some of these other guys are going to probably try and do maybe a two-stop strategy. We see Jensen Randall heading into the pits now, so let's pick up Jerome Adamako, see how much of a gap Adamako can get over Jensen Randall. This battle here, Tim Bentic now, and George Wilkes all over the back of him. Here comes Latrella. Latrella's going to sneak in a position there when he's going to cut across the nose of George Wilkes. That was almost catastrophic. Bold move from Latrella. And caution flag flying in sector 2. Looks like that might have been Nick Van Gelder. Oh, and Nick's had a big slide there. He let Sandro Doulis go by, and Nick's playing a little too much in the rain. And we've now got ourselves a virtual safety car because of his possible antics.
Oh, that was bound to happen at some point, Nick.
I'm glad you avoided me.
Adamako is going to take this time to pit. So he's going to get that fresh set of intermediates. Jensen Randall is going to stay out, so Adamaco hoping that virtual safety car does not end while he is in the pits. Otherwise, that is going to cost him a couple of spots. The Haas team quick to switch the tires over. Tim Bentek's going to come in as well. Jerome Adamaco now within 0.3 of a second of Jensen Randall. Again, Adamaco has that 3-second timing penalty hanging over his head. He's going to have to make the pass and separate himself from Jensen Randall if he wants to try and retain that win. Adamaco going to get to the inside. Look at that great move by Randall. Good defensive driving. Randall's going to dive down to the inside. They're both going to run in the wet, try and keep those tires cool. And Adamaco all over the gearbox of Jensen Randall, trying to stay within that slipstream, try and get that cool, wet racing line to keep them tires cooled down. Adamaco to the outside. He's going to try and do a crossover move. Gets to the inside of Jensen Randall. He's going to push him wide, and Randall almost lost the car coming out of that corner. Caution flag flying in Sector 2 now. It looks like that's another car off, and we've got ourselves a safety car. That was Jamie Jagerstrom. We talked about how bad he was struggling. So Adamaco into the pits, Jensen Randall into the pits. Andrea Latrella into the pits, most fastest laps, most pole positions. Adamaco back on the gas, coming out of the final corner. Now remember, no passing before the start-finish line. Adamaco puts the power down, trying to separate himself from Jensen Randall, gets a good jump. Well, here, this is Nick Van Gelder and Sandro Doulis side by side. And who is this? It's George Wilkes that had an issue. George Wilkes has fallen all the way back to the 10th position. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall has just gotten around Jerome Adamaco for the official lead of this race. Adamaco, inconsequential 3-second timing penalty hanging over his head. But Jensen Randall is going to come around the final corner. He is going to win today's race officially and unofficially. Jensen Randall, your winner. Jerome Adamaco coming across second.